Right, okay. Long time. King is back. Football's coming home. All right, let's get some Harge twins up in this and we'll get started.
Yeah. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's crashing. Get out. You need to sell everything. Put it in tether, man. It's getting crazy out here. Hey, man. Dog, man, I'm telling you right now, we need to put everything in tether. This market hasn't bottomed out yet. I think Bitcoin's going to like 5,000. 5,000? Yeah. Man, Bitcoin ain't going to 5,000. Look what happened in Ethereum this morning. This morning, Ethereum was at 570. It dropped down to 492 in seconds. That's scary right there, man. It kind of came back, man, but this market, I don't even call this a bear market. I call this a damn gorilla market. This is getting bad, man. We can put everything in. Hey, look, let this market calm down. Listen, tell me what I'm telling you. We're losing everything. You need to put this stuff in tether, right? When the market bottoms out. Stop spitting on me, man. You need to listen, man. When the market bottoms out, then you jump back in. Just put it in tether for now, because we losing everything, man.
All right, that's enough. Crack me up. Okay, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. Man, they are so funny. So this is the line coming from 2011. I've used magnet mode, so it's attached to this low as well as this low here. So that's where it's pointing, and then what you can do is extend the line right. So this line is coming in at 4,200, which is basically the next target point for Bitcoin. I actually think personally it might go lower than that to around 3,000, maybe even a little bit lower, but definitely at 4,200 there will be a lot of buyers. And the other reason for 4,200, as I've mentioned many times, is it's the Fibonacci retracement of this entire move. Well, it's the next one basically. So it's okay. I've not done that accurately, have I? Yeah. So 42.10 is the 78.6. The next one is 22.43. So if 42 doesn't hold, I don't think it'll go here. I think 3,000 is going to play a role because that's when Morgan got in. Well, that's when they told us they got in. They probably got in here, the cheeky so-and-sos. But I mean, my target is 2496, and I'm going to hold by that. The other thing which is interesting is on the weekly chart, the 200 week moving average simple is coming in, and it's rolling back up now. It's going to start flatlining soon because Bitcoin's been going down in this gorilla market for the last 7 months, but that'll probably end up at 3,000 or so pretty soon, and that is obviously a very important moving average for long-term investors. So couple of questions really. So is the bear market over? No. Is it a gorilla market? Yes, it is. When's it going to be over? Well, I've said September. I mentioned September when it was back in February or April. I expect lower prices pretty soon. I think these next couple of days, couple of weeks may very well be bullish, but it's just another bull trap, because once this actually we'll go on the daily chart here. Once this low breaks, the most recent low of 5,700, there's no volume at all. There's no VPVR until 4,200. So the next couple of weeks may be bullish, but mid to late July to the start of August, definitely there's going to be another dump. And then 4,200, that's when things get interesting. Does it start to base out here, or does it go even lower? I'm not sure. So I'm running this as some sort of WXY pattern. I've made this point before, but I'll mention it again. The actual count itself isn't important. As long as you're making money, then you're right. Simple as that. So don't worry too much about the count. It's not that important. I mean, this is 3 ways to make a definite W. This could have very well been, an A, B, C, D truncated E to finish off the X. And now we're going to go in a double zigzag combo, which I've mentioned before. So some sort of, maybe that's the first ABC, then this is some sort of B wave or some sort of X wave, then we're going to get another ABC to make a WXY to make the Y. to make a larger WXY. Hopefully that makes sense. So something like this, but the count isn't anywhere near as important as figuring out short term, intermediate and long term where the trend is. Okay, so short term, the trend is obviously up and it seems to be wanting to go higher. Now on the 4 hourly, a good trending indicator that I've used, that I use on other markets, is the 50 moving average, and that's providing support, and we are going to get a golden cross here on the 4 hourly with the 50 EMA crossing the 200. So as I said, we're now 9th of July, so maybe this will last until maybe the 20th of July or the 21st, I'm not sure, but at some point it's going to start rolling over. I've got initial targets of 7,020, secondary target 7,313, and then potentially it could retest this line off the symmetrical triangle, which is running at somewhere between 76, and then potentially the top of this bar, which is at 77.39, and then eventually it's going to end up possibly hitting this hero line coming down, which has been coming down from March. So March, May, and it might end up hitting here. So it's going to do something like this, just going to zigzag all the way up, but at some point sellers are going to step in, and that's going to be quite a big sell-off, because once this breaks, as I've mentioned, there's no volume here. No one's doing business on Bitcoin between 57 and 4,200 basically. I mean, obviously 5,000 will provide some psychological support, and once that breaks, we're going to get a lot of panic selling, because a lot of the heroes who bought up in here, they've already probably left the market, and if they haven't, they need get some kind of psychiatric evaluation or something. But for those heroes who bought down here, well, they're just they're really crapping their pants right now, because they're going to end up selling here because they just want a break even and then getting the hell out of there. So that's probably what's going to happen. So I think August is going to be very, very bearish. Now we know on the 3-day candle, these fake little bull traps, they end up lasting somewhere between 5 to 8 3-day candles. So a 3-day candle is obviously 5 of them will make 15 days, 8 of them will make 24 days. So this one lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, call it 6 or 7. So that lasted roughly, I don't know, 15, 17 days. This lasted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, lasted approximately 25 days. So this has now lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's already 15 days in. So if this is anything to go by, and this is anything to go by, what I'm trying to say is mid to late July, expect a sell-off. The bond market is 400 times the value of the crypto market. The reason I make that point, it's very easy for the big boys to manipulate this market. None of these targets are getting hit, and Bitcoin seems to be rolling over well before these targets get hit. So clearly they're watching these videos and the Twitters and all that, because I thought, well, we all thought here it might go to 14,000, here it might go higher, here we thought it might go here. So however high you think it's going to go, shave off 10% off that number, and it'll probably front run whatever target you have and start selling off. So it's a lot easier to manipulate this market because it's only £400 billion worth. It's not a big market at all. It's very hard to do that with the bond market. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. But none of this is bullish. This is declining bull volume. So none of this is long-term bullish. So we're not going to get this, because that's just not going to happen. So we are going to go lower. So if you're trading this, I suppose trail your stops and take regular profits, as I always say. So for those wanting the target, well, I'm not going to give targets, but I've got alerts at 7,000 and at 7313, and I suppose the top of this box is running at 7698. So at some point here, it's going to sell off, but it's probably going to sell off before your target gets hit, because it's done that here, and as well as here. So be prepared for another sell-off, and we're going to break 5,000, So as I said, these guys have already left. So if they haven't, they need you know, some kind of help. These guys here are solely going to leave, and then we're going to get to 4,200, and then basically it's only going to leave guys like myself, obviously, and wave 618. Let me make sure I got the mic on full. Only joking. Okay, and it's going to leave all the guys who have been in the market for many years. So we just need to shake out a few more hands. So that's Bitcoin. I did a Twitter poll, 479 here. So still love it. So over 50% either hate Bitcoin, are indifferent, or are frustrated and exhausted. So this is probably where we're at. We're still not near this panic capitulation phase. I don't feel the panic has properly set in. I think breaking 5,000 will be all over the headlines, and if something has moved from 20,000 to 5,000, a 75% decline, that will panic a lot of people. So I think the denial and the panic, and definitely the capitulation, all of these three stages are still to come, but I feel as though there's a lot of anxiety here, and that is definitely the kind of feeling that I'm getting from here. You know, a lot of frustration, but you know, that's just the way markets move. You know, first we shake them out, then we tire them out, then we shake them out. That's how it works. And looking at the polls, I mean, looking at the market cap, I feel as though the market cap needs to go to this next high here of 159 billion. So it's double bottomed here, so you're always going to catch support, but eventually that's going to break. So a break of 5,000 should break 246, and then the next support is this high here of 172. So that's my next target. Once that gets hit, things will get very cheap, and I'm very intrigued as regards to long-term positions on Bitcoin and crypto. So that's my target, 172, and that will get hit. On the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, once again double bottomed here, we're going to get a little bit of a move up. So we've gone from 141 to 158. Maybe we'll get to 175. We're definitely not going to break this high of 288. You can forget about that. So 175, then we're going to break the low, and I'd said a break of 5,000 will take the market cap excluding Bitcoin to 88 billion. So essentially we've gone from market cap of 795, we're going to end up going to 163. So that kind of movement will take a lot of people out, and then and only then can we start this new bull leg to 50,000 and beyond. So unfortunately that's just the way markets move. There's nothing else to be said. So DigiByte is looking pretty good. I'm gonna have to cover that at some point for the group. So yeah, that's the count then. So nothing else to be said. Formulating this sort of wedge might come down, might go up, but I suspect in the next couple of weeks it'll find some resistance and then start selling off again. And then at 4,200 things get very cheap and things get very interesting, especially if Ether drops to $300. That is seriously cheap for Jay-Z's favorite coin. Okay, so looking at the BTC USD longs, when everyone is on one side of the trade, expect the opposite to happen. So whilst it might break 7,000, there's no reason why Bitcoin can't just fall over here. So every day you should be watching this market. We're now approaching the highs we had back in February, and we know what happened there. December, we know what happened there. That was the 20k sell-off, and also here back in April. So this is just something to be mindful of. Every day you should be checking this. Once everyone's on one side of the trade, we get a move down. So the equivalent of this is the COT report, which can be used for currencies, indices, as well as commodities. So we saw with cable, a lot of short speculators were very long cable around 3 months ago, and cable has since devalued by over 9-10% since then. So you know, it's very important to keep an eye on that. So let's go back to Bitcoin. So I think that's it really. There's not much else to be said. I'm not sure what else I could add. Another good way to follow the trend is to use the Heiken Ishii candles. I use these a lot in Forex, so Heiken Ishii. And it's very, very simple. All you're doing is just waiting for a red candle, really. You just follow it while it's green, and then you let go of the trade while it's red. So you can see it here very clearly. Red, 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 a bit of green. You just buy when it's green, and then you just let it ride all the way up. Obviously, there might be the occasional red candle here and there, but you get the point. And here, they're generally red. So then you close out, you go back in, close out when it's green, when it's red again. So this works really well on Forex because Forex trends very well. I suppose Bitcoin trends fairly well as well, but that's just something that I use it in Forex. I've not really used it in crypto because I just go off fibs because crypto hits the fibs, you know, bang on. But that's just something to use. As you can see here, if you bought when it was red and you went short, you could have held that trade until the first green candle, which was here. So you could have made what, you know, $3,000 short there, and then you go long and then you go short again. So that's just something to use. So, you know, the first time you get a really dramatic red candle, that might be a change in trend. So but right now there's no change in trend as of this moment, but that's just something for you heroes to have a look at. And there's no major sell volume coming in, so as I said, I suppose the next couple of weeks are bullish, but just a matter of time before we get this big sell-off. And I think 5,000 is a very important number. A lot of people will hate Bitcoin after that. This 3% will then become 30%. So, and that's a sign that we're approaching the end. So, but that needs to happen. You need to shake out the weak hands to get the big money coming in. And they should be back from Monaco next month. So expect a lot of drama. And yeah, there's no major sell-offs here. So short term is going to go up, but as I said, medium term is going to go down, and then long term we're going to hit 50k. What happens at 4200? That's something I'm very intrigued about, because that is the long support line coming up. The 200 week moving average will end up here. There's Fibonacci support here, so that's very important, a key level. I'm still going to stick to 2496, but I will concede that Bitcoin might just hit 4200 and then start building a base. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I still feel 42 is not enough, because it was only 42 back in August, so it was only less than a year ago when it was at 42. So I think it needs to shake out all of these heroes here as well, and 42 is not going to do that. So I can't see it staying below 3,000 for that long, mind you. It'll go up eventually, but it's not going to stay at that cheap price for too long. But I don't think 4,200 will be the end, but I'm happy to concede at 4,200 if I see evidence of accumulation, which I'm not seeing right now. This is not accumulation. This is just bad. So we need proper accumulation volume patterns, and then we'll start talking about this 50,000 target, which is very much possible. I mean, this hero line is right here, and 50,000 is right here. So once it finishes this, it'll do this, and then 1 2 3 4 5, and then things get very interesting at this number as well. Okay, so there's nothing else to be said. If you guys are interested, you can have a look at my Shopify store. All of my webinars and my education, my tutorials are all here. There's a sale going on. You can use Bitcoin New, 50% off. And you guys want to join the secret Facebook group, let me know. You can pay in crypto, but you got to email me first if you want to, and you pay a month up front. I'm going over the major markets now as well, so it's not just Bitcoin, it's Dow Jones regularly, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, silver, oil, major forex pairs, the bond market, and more. And I also hold weekly polls, so you guys can get your favorite stock analyzed on the group. So last week we covered the dollar Canadian. We also covered Tesla and a few other stocks from around the world. So it's a nice little group. You get a lot of important education there, and I also hold impromptu webinars as well. I'm doing one in a few weeks actually on Wyckoff and volume. So That's just something if you guys are interested. And for you EU and UK fans, from the 1st of August, we'll be playing VAT, so prices will be increasing from there on in for EU and UK. So if you're from those particular countries, those 28 countries, your price, if you sign up before the 1st of August, whatever you're paying on a weekly basis, that will not increase. So that will remain fixed at that price, because from 1st of August there will be VAT. And webinars, we're going to try and get another webinar with, well, I won't mention who the special guest is, but we're trying to organize a webinar for maybe August, maybe September. I'm sure Cenex will be up for another webinar at some point, but that's still weeks and months away. Okay, so that's the Shopify, that's the thing. And looking at the Google Trends, I'm expecting this to go down to the low single digits. So we're at 10. A break below 5,000, a lot of people will have no interest left in Bitcoin, and that's great because that's what we want, and that will kick off the new bull market. So I'm expecting this trend score to go as low as 3. There's no sign of any chance this will go anywhere else but 3. So that's the Google trend score. So, and this has basically mirrored the price on the way up and on the way down. So something I keep an eye on a weekly basis. And I've covered this, we're probably here. And the 5,000 panic, that'll start here. A lot of people will sell at 5,000, which is why it'll go straight to 4,200. And then we'll see what happens at 4,200. That's when things get very interesting, because things will get very cheap then, and at some point you gotta buy. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. And no more heartstrings for you guys. I don't want to press play. Actually, let me just see what
This is getting crazy, man. Hey, man, I think we should hold, man. Hold? Ain't hold nothing. Tell you what, you hold your stuff. I'm gonna take half of your stuff. I'm gonna take the other half. I'm putting it in. Now, look, man, let's think about this now. Now, I've been thinking about this all night, man. You need to stop spitting on me.
Yeah, they must have been watching my videos. All right, I'll call it a day there. Good luck to England tomorrow. And if they do win the World Cup, sorry, if we win the World Cup, I'm doing a YouTube video every day, crypto AMD style, on a different altcoin every day for a week. So that'll be from a couple of weeks time. So yeah, good luck to you guys. No more Denmark France games, unfortunately. All right, see you guys soon.